Humans often fall into addictions, whether related to substances, food, or toxic people we attract into our lives. We often cling to these habits, even knowing they are harmful, causing damage both in the short and long term. But where lies the root of this self-destruction? The answer is simple. Perhaps something within you is out of balance and harmony. Today, I invite you to embark on a journey to discover and understand your relationship with addictions. Visualize a door in front of you, a portal that leads anywhere, allowing access to different dimensions. Imagine how this portal appears, what kind of light emanates from it, and how big it is. Now, I invite you to step through this door. You have the ability to take your mind to a new dimension. Now, you find yourself in a dense jungle, disoriented, unsure of what to do or where to go, but aware that you cannot stay there. You begin walking a complicated path, surrounded by immense trees. The vegetation is so abundant that sunlight barely penetrates. The distant sound of insects fills the silence. The environment is humid, and on the ground, a red line seems to indicate the direction to follow. This path leads you to a high cliff, and you realize that the red line continues on the other side. The distance is too great to cross, but you know that this is the path you must take. Giving up is not an option. You need to find a way to reach the other side of the cliff. As soon as you make this decision, feel that you have the energy needed to find a solution, and soon you will reach the other side. You begin to walk around the cliff in search of an exit, and suddenly, you spot a long wooden suspension bridge, nestled in the middle of the jungle. Approaching it, you notice it is very long, supported by thin planks and long ropes. The height is impressive, and as you dismiss the idea of giving up, you realize that you must cross the bridge to reach your goal. For a few moments, you struggle with fear, but you decide to face it once again. Now, you are ready to cross. Take the first step and feel the intensity of the moment, something completely out of your comfort zone. As you cross this suspension bridge, visualize the addiction you want to break free from, the habit you have acquired that is harmful to you. In 10 seconds, you will reach the other side. You have arrived. You are safe. It is crucial that you don't feel ashamed for having an addiction, regardless of what it is. Don't judge yourself. There is something within you that needs balance, and if you are willing to transform it, you will find the strength to do so. Leave here the energy of your intention. Always remember to be your own support, help yourself, and don't look back. However, this path brings new challenges. An animal crosses your path. What is this animal that appears before you, blocking the red line in the jungle? The presence of this animal prevents you from moving forward. Without words, it invites you to reflect on the negative impact your addiction has on your life. Remember, regardless of the addiction, visualize realistically the damage this habit can cause. This animal, appearing as a warning, asks you to place your hands on the ground and make an internal promise not to fail. It requests that you commit to yourself. What are the true reasons you have for not failing? What would your life be like if you managed to break free from this harmful addiction? What gift would you be offering yourself by abandoning it? Visualize these images, build them in your mind, and infuse them with the intention, emotion, and desire to see them become reality. Your animal, with a slight blink of its eyes, disappears. For a moment, keep this image in your subconscious, for animals always bring important messages. Without hesitation, you continue along your red-marked path. As is common in the jungle, rain suddenly begins to fall. It's not a storm, but the rain makes it harder to see. You feel disoriented, overwhelmed by the sound of the water. Unlike the earlier moment, it is now difficult to think clearly. The many factors around you make understanding complicated. You've lost sight of the red path and your sense of direction. At this moment, decide to divide your mind into 2 parts, as you know that 2 parts work better than one. One part is the one that promises to abandon the addiction. The other is the part that trusts it will be possible. From here, everything becomes simpler. Always be present in both sides. Be the part that makes the promise and the part that believes in it. This will greatly ease your process, and when the moment of decision comes, the moment when you might be tempted to return to the addiction, that energy of trust you've left represented will be by your side. At this instant, even if you don't believe it, understand that you will be able to direct enough energy to think more constructively and positively about yourself. So, under the rain, remember to always split your mind into two parts. Overcoming or abandoning an addiction depends on what the other part of you offers at that moment. What is your true intention? But what happens when we repeatedly fail? Our brain, for survival reasons, has developed complex systems. When one part of us desires something intensely and the other part reminds us that it is harmful, an internal conflict is created. There is an unconscious conversation taking place. Normally, the rational part would prevail, but it's surprising to think that we often choose options that harm us. Humans are often guided by more primitive instincts. This unconscious part of us has a mechanism. This mechanism repeatedly convinces us why we continue to fall into addiction. Your brain presents arguments that seem extremely convincing, turning this harmful choice into the right decision. The real enemy is nothing more than a connection in your mind. It is a habit, an easy option. However, this enemy can be undone because you are the one who controls it. This is the point where you must take control. This is where this mechanism within you must learn to stay switched off. This is, without a doubt, the most challenging part of the process. Before returning to the habit, send a message to your future self. Tell them that when the moment of decision comes, they must remember this internal enemy. Remind them that it will be there, trying to convince them to go back. Visualize this concretely. Remember that there will come a day when this reflection will become automatic. Each time you choose what is beneficial, it will become a positive reinforcement. This reinforcement should be seen as a powerful energy that opens new paths in your mind. The rain stops and suddenly disappears without warning. You continue your journey through the jungle, noticing that the density around you has changed. The path is now easier, and you observe how the ground begins to clear. Ahead of you, an ancient structure appears. This place is sacred. Visualize how it presents itself to you. Remember that you can shape it, draw symbols, and add colors. Hold on to this image and approach it, placing your hands on it. Connect this moment to the one when you visualized your hands on your stomach. Imagine your expectations regarding your addiction. See yourself listing everything you have achieved and visualize yourself surrounded by all the positive energy that this visualization brings to you. Your mind perceives this as something real, just as it revives meaningful memories. Think of the amount of energy you can incorporate into your body and mind. This thought energy is extremely powerful and is always available to you. In this small temple, in this image created by you and filled with energy, I ask you to reaffirm yourself. Make a promise rationally, without judgment or guilt. Reaffirm your essence. Humans are multifaceted. You are your guide, your higher self, all your energy. Now, create the door again, that multi-dimensional portal that brought you here. Step through this door and go wherever you desire. In this space resides your power, the most important power of all, the power of intention. You are the protector of all your choices. Split yourself to make decisions that promote your well-being. Be responsible for your life, guide yourself, and above all, never stop believing in yourself.